Hey guys, this is Chris. We're talking through the medias. We are doing our first double date review. We're going to be talking about Wandavision episode 4 called We Interrupt This Program. As you know, I'm Chris Fagan, and
I'm Joy.
This is Joy. You can get all your medical your nurse hats and scrub hats and
scrub caps
from Joy. If you can find those hats at
Scrub Caps and More by Joy.
You always got to keep marketing. And today I am with
I'm Amy Newman. You know me.
I'm Eric Danes. You might have seen me.
All right, and we're gonna talk about episode 4 of WandaVision called "We Interrupt This Program." Let me get your thoughts first. What did you guys think? Let me start with you guys.
Overall, I would say I really liked it. I've been really impressed with this show so far, and I was really concerned. I know we've talked a lot about on the show just sort of how they were gonna start explaining all of this, and I was really scared it was gonna feel too big, too Marvel-y, too superhero-y, and overall I feel like what they've started hitting on felt like a good sort of Venn diagram of the two, of like this fits in with the Marvel universe but is still sort of sets us up for some emotionally satisfying sort of interesting stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I've been really liking how fresh it kind of feels like. This episode in particular, kind of seeing that moment when the people flipped back was kind of a cool look into, bringing us, I think, as close as we could to those movies before this, and some of the freakier stuff that I kind of forgot happened. So I really like that it's taking its time. It's a little bit more intimate, and it's really not afraid to go at its own pace and take you with it. So I love it so far.
I will say I think my one complaint was they kind of gave us everything of the outside world in this episode, and I liked how sort of like breadcrumbs it's been of like I'm starting to figure out what's happening, and I sort of wish they teased it a little slower, but I don't know. What do you guys think?
What about you? What's your theory?
My theory?
Or what do you think about the show? Sorry.
I like the show. I wasn't ever bothered that much by the retro episodes.
Your only complaint was that they didn't do the Flintstones.
I mean, I grew up seeing those reruns. When you don't have cable, you get lots of reruns of really old shows. So they were cute to me. They didn't bother me. And to me, it was an obvious thing. They're obviously going somewhere with it. It's not like the entire season's just going to be random paying homage to a bunch of shows. I mean, that would be kind of stupid. So people who are really upset about that, I'm like, I know you got to know that this is not where they're going. We may not know where it's going, but you got to know. We're not just going to copy a bunch of shows and just be like, all right, that's it. There we go. Like,
wouldn't it be funny?
I actually think one of my bigger complaints, and like sort of seeing so much of it, and sort of I feel like they started and I was like, oh, this is cool, but I was kind of excited to see the 80s. Like, I was excited to see...
And I was like, we stopped short.
I think they're going to keep going.
Wanda and Vision, you got so little of them, and I sort of... And especially when you're doing that week-by-week release, it's not just like, oh, that was a weird episode that's showing me a different world. It was like, well, I got to wait another week to really see them?
I think they named this episode "We Interrupt This Program," so I thought that was a totally perfect title for this. Let's see what's going on the outside world. I don't know if they gave away too much for showing us everything from the outside world, because all they did was they kind of showed what happened in the outside world while things were unexplainably happening in the inside of it. So for all we know, they might try to drop a nuke on this town for moving forward. Who knows what the plan is? So I'm sure it's gonna get extra weird. I love the way that it went back and forth. So because we were seeing a lot of people online or on Facebook saying, if you don't like the way the first 3 episodes started off, then or heard about it, then you can just start from episode 4 if you're just one of those I need to see comic book related kind of stuff kind of guys.
I feel like if you're that person, this just isn't the show for you. Like,
Yeah, I mean, because I was telling Joy
I think it was more for people who hadn't even started it because they'd already heard such bad things.
like this is the episode.
They were like, well, if it's like, then just start with 4 then.
But here's my question though: if do you think that people who might have started with episode 4, after seeing it and all those callbacks to 1, 2, and 3, do you think they still went, okay, now I gotta see what happened in 1, 2, and 3? Do you think that might have happened? Or do you think they're just going to go from 4 and move forward?
I guess you could just move forward. To me, because I personally, I found all the like old TV stuff what made this show interesting and what made it like if the whole show was like this, I wouldn't be that engaged with it. To me, it was sort of the mystery element of it. I thought was so cool, and sort of the homages to all these different eras of TV and. So I guess you could. I mean, really, at that point, a lot of what you are missing in those first 3 episodes is sort of the fun stuff, I guess, for lack of a better.
You'll probably have more people that will.
If you are a person where you're like, I just want to know what's happening in like the Marvel cinematic universe, and I just need to be caught up.
Right.
I don't know. That's such a like foreign headspace to me because I would just not watch it if I wasn't interested.
Well, you'll probably have more people do like they did with others, like with The Boys that released week by week, and it will just be like, I'll refuse to watch any of it until it's finished, so that I can binge the entire thing at one time because I don't want to wait week per week. I don't like it. I can't do it.
I think it's a real intentional move that they're doing, either to really identify their TV properties or maybe even to like identify the flavor and tone that they're going to go in the future. Because this feels like so intentionally different, both with like a bit of a creepy factor and a bit of a things are going to get weird now factor, just in ways that we haven't done before. And I wonder if they are doing that very intentionally to get away from that, binge culture. Because to answer your question before, I think if you're the kind of person that would start with episode 4, you're probably a fan of like the big set pieces and, the Avengers titles themselves and stuff. And this feels like for the people who have been here from the beginning, here's a little bit of a foreshadowing how like Multiverse of Madness is going to kind of pan out into and kind of what they're capable of and how they are capable of being different from their big blockbuster titles.
So from that, what do you think is going to happen moving forward, episode 5 throughout the end of the season? Do you think my feeling is that we're going to get like maybe 50-50 of inside the bubble, outside the bubble, maybe a little bit more heavy, inside. But I think it's going to now from this point on go back and forth. That's what I think is going to happen. What do you got?
I would say you're probably going to have a real Wanda heavy episode after this, just to kind of temper. But and I think part of what is smart about doing this is you don't have to show us that much outside the bubble now, because we get it. Like, we can infer from that point of like, you can show us how that like world is cracking through, and you don't necessarily have to show us like Kat Dennings at a computer for us to be like, oh, they're doing something. I get it.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what I'm leaning towards, probably with the focus back on Wanda, and then like using that and probably using more and more like. My big question is, it sort of feels like they're setting Wanda up to be the villain.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. That's the prediction for Doctor Strange too.
The comments that I read a lot of comments are expecting a very dark, very, very dark remainder of the season, and that she will.
Let's just analyze Wanda right now. Let's just talk about her for a second.
Psychologically, she's so interesting at this point.
Oh, she's professionally speaking, she's cray. That's what's going on right now. She lost it.
Freud? Are you quoting Freud?
Yeah. Freud said, you cray. But ever since she had to, in the Avengers movie, spoiler alert for Amy, probably, who hasn't seen it.
I've seen it. How dare you?
Has not seen it. When she had to kill Vision, and just to witness him come back to life and then killed again. Yeah. That was it. That was the moment. She snapped. And when she faced Thanos, and that whole moment when she tried to, she almost killed him. You knew she was a broken person right there. So all of it. My theory is still that she snapped and she's probably hijacked the town and some people inside of it. But I still don't think she's doing it alone. I feel like she might have gone back to Hydra for a little assistance. That's just my feeling. I don't know.
Oh, I think it's like her powers. I think it's like a psychological and her powers creating it. I did think it was interesting that all the people were people from the outside world. Like, I thought it was going to be more like she's creating.
You think so? I thought that maybe she kidnapped some people that were already in the town. Like, you're going to be my neighbor. You're going to be my neighbor.
No, because
Crazy Mr. Rogers.
They were from different places. Did they establish where people were from?
I don't know if they said where they're from. They put their names up.
They put their names up.
It looked like a grab bag of people we haven't met before.
I thought I saw like driver's license or like identification.
Oh, okay. Maybe, that's probably. It was interesting that people who were not inside the bubble, who knew of the town, were also affected. They were having their minds wiped. Here's my other prediction. I feel like she's exhausting her. This is why the illusion is slipping a little bit. I feel like she's constantly exhausting herself, and it's making her go further into madness because she's constantly having to keep this facade in check. She's fooling herself. She has to fool Vision. She has to keep everybody in check. And if you don't play along, you get bad things happen to you.
Get shot through the damn wall.
Yeah, I think she got off light. I think termination is usually the punishment.
I'm trying to figure out how they make Vision be actually on the verge of figuring it out. So I'm like, well, if he's dead and it's a figment of her imagination, then how is he figuring? Like, he knows something is wrong.
I think that goes along with the whole the illusion. Like, if he knows what's going on, then he might try to talk her out of doing it all. So give him a little bit of free will, and but still keep him in the dark and try to force him to play along because she just misses him so much. But of course, obviously, with that little bit of free will, he's obviously going to figure out something. It's a very Twilight Zone-y kind of
I loved how Twilight Zone the first couple episodes felt, just that like something's off and I can't, like, it's not scary necessarily, but it's got that little like, ooh, this is creeping me out. Something's going to go very wrong. Something is wrong and we're gonna figure it out.
What's your let's run down the list real quick. Like, what's your favorite moments or from this episode specifically? Who, like, the cameos and things like that?
I love that we learned that my favorite agent is from Bakersfield.
Which one? No, that's not Agent Wu, right?
It is, yeah. He's so that's canon now, and I love that. Go Bakersfield.
Wow, first time those words were ever said together.
No, just a fun moment of like, oh hey. So that personally was a highlight of mine.
Did you catch the nod to the Ant-Man movie when he introduced himself to Rambo? He figured out how to do the card trick. Like, Agent Wu. I was like,
that one actually got a laugh out of me for sure.
I got it.
He was delightful.
What about you? Did you get it? You didn't get it, did you?
You told me when he did it.
That was awesome. But my theory. What about you? What do you like so far? Coming.
Well, I'm just a big comedy girl. So the cheesy retro comedies were funny to me. I thought they were cute. I like stuff like that.
What my thing so far for this episode specifically, what I love is I don't know why, and I put this on the TikTok app. I put this question up. I think there's something going on between Kat Dennings' character and Agent Wu. I think there's a connection there.
Me too.
I think they're cute together.
I could be okay with that.
I think I would love that, because then she could stop trying to wink at Thor. And then she'd be like, I'm dating Agent Wu on the side. And then when the next Ant-Man movie comes out, you're like, oh yeah, my girlfriend, she's an astrophysicist, and we all know what he's talking about. It'd be hilarious. And then on WandaVision, they come together. That's my favorite thing. What about you, Amy? What's your favorite thing so far? This episode?
This episode, I'm trying to think of something that hasn't been said. I really liked sort of going back through the beats and explaining it, like seeing the helicopter and seeing that, because I think it's so easy to do weird and do mystery and then never explain really what happened. And to me, it was just really satisfying to see, like, okay, you have a solid answer to what all these things meant, and
Right.
and I appreciate that.
And
So, I like that.
what's my next
Also,
question?
Kat Dennings always has a higher voice than I think she does. Every time she talks, I'm just like, that's not what you sound like in my brain, and I don't know what to do with it.
And everything I see, she sounds the same. I think, I don't know.
But like in my brain, you said it's like, I was like, she doesn't sound like I think she's going to, and you're like, I feel like she should sound like Emma Stone, like more that
With a deep-
register.
With a deeper tone, a little bit.
Yeah, and every time she talks, I'm just like, oh, there's nothing wrong with your voice. It's just never what I picture in my brain.
Hello, I'm Captain Eads.
Yeah, astrophysicist. But I think that another thing that I loved about it was that we got to look more into the connection with Captain Marvel, with Rambo's the little girl from the Captain Marvel movie, all grown up and being an agent of S.W.O.R.D. I thought it was interesting how the episode started with the blip or the snap in reverse, and you saw it happening from a hospital. That was very the eerie stuff that happened in this episode was extremely spooky, because like in the Spider-Man movie, you saw the blip. They made a joke out of it. The basketball team was playing in the gym, and then all of a sudden the band shows up from the snap. But in this situation, it was like a real tense, scary, what the hell is going on? We're in a hospital. I thought you were dead. Oh my God, where have you been?
No, provided a lot of context too, because I know that's like a pretty popular online theory of like what happens to the helicopter pilots and the airline pilots who, were in the air and are flipped back and stuff. And although that's not really answered, I'm happy that they're willing to acknowledge what that looks like and kind of how that works in their universe.
And doing that honestly from a human perspective, like not just being like, oh, it happened. It's like that would have massive implications for the whole world. Like starting to acknowledge
the couples that moved on from their spouse that was snapped, and then that couple comes back. One of the working theories is that if you were in a plane at the time, then you would just show back up in that plane no matter where it's at, whether it's on the ground or in the air. But I believe if you were the captain and you were flying the plane and the plane crashed, those people are gone. So that's just the way it is. I think because I know we're about to run out of time. The dead Vision. What was your reaction? Originally, what was your reaction when you saw a Vision like that, when he was dead?
I said no, thank you.
I'm just like, I'm trying to put it together. Okay, so did she take his dead body and she reanimated it?
Is Vision just being moved around? Like, I love
They're
you too.
Weekend at Bernie's thing.
Are they weekend at visioning this thing? What is going on?
Why didn't we notice he had sunglasses on the whole time?
The whole time, yeah, and he's just all like that. Like, oh my God, if she's kissing his dead, robot body, that's a whole can of worms that's gonna open up right there. I don't think that's the situation, but wouldn't it be very funny if that was that? It jarred me. I'm not gonna lie. I don't usually jump that much, but I was like, whoa! Why because I did not expect. I didn't think that was what was going through her head when he first walked in the door and said, what happened to the neighbor. Because now going back to that third episode, she did kind of pause for a second when she turned to him. So it was creepy. It was some X-Files type some stuff right there. So I loved it. I thought it was very scary. What about you, Eric? What did you think about the whole nightmare on Vision Street?
This was like the number one spooky moment for me, and I think it was because like we saw Vision die in Avengers, and that moment's played so dramatically and so well, and this one was definitely played for like creeps. And actually, it kind of like had the flavor of like the Marvel Zombies run just a little bit of like, oh, I could kind of see them doing a bit of an undead what if, because that's coming down the pipe later. But it was definitely freaky and definitely just like a little reminder of like, oh yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here and what's real, what's alternate, what is even Westview actually, because I know they haven't quite defined that. So all freaky, and if they give me more of that, I'm gonna be so happy because it's such a different direction.
Moving forward, I think they should do like a Schitt's Creek version of Westview. That's what I think they should do now. That should be the next episode.
My biggest note is more Catherine Hahn because she's so funny. I just enjoy the hell out of her and everything she's in, and I was very sad not to see her this episode. Really.
For Kat Denning though, my prediction was right, and I should have posted it. I chickened out and I didn't do it. I was going to post on episode 1 that hand that we saw from the person that was watching the TV monitor. I thought that was her. But I never said it out loud because I thought, well, I'm probably wrong about that. But I was right.
You didn't want to be the creep who was like, I know what Kat Denning's saying.
I know whose right hand is that.
I have pictures of her hand exclusive.
Exactly. I didn't want to be that hand expert, but I should have did it.
That hand shot, I remember just feeling so. Is that a?
Go on.
We'll edit that. that shot of the hand, I thought it was just going to be a stranger, and I'm actually really impressed and really excited that they are keeping it so in universe and they're not really introducing new players, and I think that really keeps it close to the Marvel brand and kind of this all packaged thing that we're all used to. So I was excited that they're bringing in some old players again.
Overall, what do you think? Was this the best episode or just a great episode? Do you have your favorite or anything like that, or do you think this was it, or do you think one of the other ones were?
Well, it was just nice to kind of
peel the onion,
at least start seeing where it's going a little bit, so that it doesn't seem so much like I don't understand what we're doing here.
Yeah, because we're tired of hearing all the complaints on Facebook. I don't get it. But what about you guys? What would you rank this one, episode 4?
I am honestly going to rank it 4th, and that is just because my favorite thing about this was that they were going on a Weird Al style, and I love Paul's charismatic interpretation of all the old. Sorry, I know him. I'm on a first name basis.
Oh no, I was gonna say about the kitty.
Oh, there's a cat. Oh.
Her favorite episode is "Where's My Dinner."
Yeah, I would agree though that I would actually place this last, but I'm glad it's in there.
I think it's the most important. I think as far as this
I liked not knowing what was going on. I'm dumb and never know what's going on, so it's nice to be like with superhero stuff. Though there was an element of like, it's okay that I don't get this one. Not going.
She's gonna so knock that off.
She might knock the camera off, but we'll see. But I would, it probably isn't my favorite, my highest ranked one. Maybe it was like second or third. But overall, best scene, the zombie scene, Dead Vision scene, was the number one scene in this whole thing. So that
effective, and I think I think as far as the season's concerned, it's probably going to be the most important episode.
Yeah.
I guess I just wouldn't mind if this was almost like the last episode. I'm not sure how long the episode run is.
I think there's 10 or 12. I think there's a total of 20. Yeah. That's about 6 more.
Done what they were doing for another 6 episodes if they're just giving breadcrumbs by breadcrumbs. So.
Yeah.
I hope they go back to that. Like I said, I hope.
Yeah, I think it does. I think it goes to the
this world. Now let's go back and now we can like get in deeper because you're not going, what is this? You kind of understand it.
I have to double check. I don't know what they're called, but I would not be surprised if episode 5 is called "We Now Return to Our Regular Scheduled Program." The cat's just knocking stuff over. But all right, that's it. We got you guys' we finally did our first like double date review for WandaVision. That's what our thoughts are for episode 4 on this Marvel Cinematic mystery of probably horror. I think from this point on, even if they do go back to the TV style formula, I think this episode set the tone for creepy and horror. I don't think this is a cute.
Honestly, anytime it would like jump, it's stuff like that freaks me out. There's like one where it did like a really sudden jump and like my heart started racing. Yeah. Something about that. I was like
what happened to the dude that came out of the sewer? Never answered. That guy is being tortured. But I know. But I think from this point on, it's a horror movie. Yeah. That's what I feel. So let's find out. Well, I'm glad we finally got this one out the way. We've been talking about doing this. What I'm calling a double. I don't know why I keep calling it a double date. I'm like sliding the check over to you guys. Like, there you go. I only had water, but I had fun, guys. Let me close the show off real quick and just say thank you guys for watching. I hope you had a good time with our little review, our recap of the episode, and maybe we'll see you next time, or maybe a couple episodes down the road, whenever we can all get together again. And until next time. Bye.
If you like what you saw, make sure to subscribe to the channel and please drop a like on this video. It really does help us. Also, don't forget you can turn on notifications so you don't miss a single review, react, why is that trending, or we got your mail.